Hello and welcome back to another week of Worlds Apart Words Together. And I am here with Marit again this week,
Hello.
talking about all things Dutch and fall.
Oh my God. So much fun. Um, One thing you need to know, rain. Lots of rain.
As we discussed previously, umbrella hats Marit really needs.
It hasn't been that bad. I told you last week that that I had to go bike through the rain. That's how we got on the topic of the umbrella hat. And I had a rain jacket on and I had rain pants and I got out of the rain pretty dry. So
There
they
you go.
worked very well. My shoes, though, they were absolutely
So now
soaked.
we need waterproof shoes. So
Yes. Um,
pretty sure they're called rain boots, dude. You just gotta get a pair.
I was going to for vacation to England and Scotland and stuff this year. I never got them though, so I probably should purchase a pair
They might be a
for
good
this
investment.
climate. Yeah. Before we go more into it though, we are working on getting microphones for
Yes.
our podcast, which means that our sound quality is not going to be as shitty as it is now. Hopefully.
I don't know. I think my old ass laptop's doing pretty good.
I mean, it's doing pretty good. But I think attaching a microphone to it will even make it better, you
Of
know?
course. Well, yes. Anything that this, 1980s computer.
Did they have computers back then?
No,
No. So that's quite
but
old.
that's the level that I feel like this. So this laptop was the one that my parents got me after I graduated from undergrad for grad school because my one from undergrad actually blew up. There were sparks
Oh
coming
yeah, I remember that.
from the keyboard. So it blew up. So my parents got me this one. And my dad working with a pretty high level, high clearance military, IT. Oh yeah, this is the good one. It's so good. Like it's just gonna be fast. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that. It's a good brand. The core
The
processor
silence says
is
everything.
the core processor is still an i5, which I'm pretty sure is like an late 2000s model.
Wow.
And it now sounds like a helicopter. So when I turn it on, it goes.
Hey, it's better a helicopter than one that gives off sparks.
Well, at least the one that gave off sparks still worked pretty quick. I have to wait decades for this thing to work. But anyway, I'm thankful because I needed it through grad school, but it will be one of the first things I replace once I get a job.
That's okay. You can afford it then.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But this
Um,
one, it's just not a thing.
yeah. But for it to be that old and slow and stuff, I feel like the sound and image quality are pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a I don't know what a Intel I RIS XE graphic is. But apparently that's what this computer has.
Okay.
I can't
Sounds
imagine it being too good, but
fancy.
if anyone who is listening that knows graphics, that's what this laptop has. With the Intel Core i5, I know that sucks because my old computer was like an i7 or something. So I know that's like
Oof.
19th century. But
Well,
yeah. Oh, and it
as
likes
long
to
as it
update.
works.
It
Oh,
likes to update.
is it a Windows?
Yeah, all of mine are Windows.
Yeah,
But I had
Windows
a
does that.
Samsung one. I
Windows
had
does that.
it's not.
Nah, you can't argue with me. Like, Windows just goes into updating mode out of nowhere. At
I've
least
only
Apple,
had that on Asus and HP. My Samsung one never did that, and it was Windows.
I don't know, but Apple always asks you
Well, you
if
can
they can
change that
update.
setting. So That's a setting thing.
It could, but they always like let you know that they're gonna do it so that
Oh,
you're
mine does too.
prepared.
Mine gives me a little yellow dot at the bottom.
It's
Like,
like, oh,
oh,
we're starting it
refresh.
now. Now.
No, no, no. It asks me when I want to do it. It says, now watch me shut this thing off. It says an estimated 4 minutes. I can restart now
Oh,
or schedule a restart or go have it restart during like operation off modes, which is I never even mess with, so I don't even know what that is. I know what it is. I just never configure it.
no computer science here.
That's why I have brothers, because that's what they do.
Um, anyway. Got a little off track into the laptop realm there.
Hey, it's frustrating.
I understand. Um, Also, laptops don't like water.
Correct. They do not.
Do you remember?
Yours does not.
Oh my God. So let's take you back to 2019. No,
No way.
2020.
2021.
2020. No, 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 no. Because it was in the fall and we graduated in 2022. So it must have been the fall before that, 2020.
Okay, so 2020.
So let's take you back to 2020. I had my laptop with me. I
You did.
had my backpack with me. I had my water bottle with me.
A hydro.
Did I have a hydro at that time?
I think so. I think that's what it was.
Could have been. I'm not sure.
Maybe a fake
Doesn't,
hydro. Could have been a fake
yeah,
hydro.
doesn't matter what it was. At one point, I lift my bag off the ground and I just see like water dripping from it. I was like, what the hell? So I open my bag and there's just puddle of water. I'm like, damn, that sucks. So I go back to the house and I try to turn on my laptop. Doesn't work.
No, we stuck it in rice. Remember, it was in
I
rice for
know.
4 months.
I know. We I was going to that point. I was coming to it. So it doesn't work. And we're like, well, you know what you have to do with electronic devices when they don't work? You put them in rice. I don't see like any holes in my MacBook that can pour the water or take the water out, you know?
A keyboard.
Well, yes, but not really. But so we opened it as you open it when you would use it, and we stuck the keyboard and the bottom side of the laptop into like this. I don't even know what it was. It was just a plateau. I think we got it from Jared or Logan.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
We stuck it in there for like weeks.
Months.
Well,
It was months because
it
it was
ended up being
still
months.
there when we moved out. And we eventually, when you went home, you took it with you. It was sitting there for months.
Yeah. I did purchase a new one though. We just let it sit in there in case it would start. But I went to Apple and I asked them like, "Hey, I have water damage." At first I was gonna look up how to replace the motor myself and how to fix the water damage. Turns out I cannot do that kind of stuff. I don't have the tools for it. I even went to Gerald for screwdrivers. I
Yeah.
remember that. I went there and I asked for screwdrivers and I was like, hey, I need to have the smallest one because I need to open up my freaking laptop. Well, obviously it didn't work. So I talked to Apple and I was like, I have water damage. Like, what do I need to do? How much is it to repair? They told me it was like 800 to 1200 bucks to fix it for water damage. And I was like, hell no. Because a new laptop was $1,200.
Yeah, it's
I
in
was
the
like,
same range.
I'm gonna just buy a new one. So
Yeah.
I purchased the new MacBook Pro and it's lived ever since. And then to think that my sister is still using the same MacBook Air that she got after high school. And she's been out of high school for 7 years now. So
Yes.
she's had that laptop for a very long time. And I couldn't even make it through 2 years.
Okay, but
Three.
that's because you dumped it in water.
I wanted to make it swim.
But I did learn this is back in spring of 2019. This is before I met you, but I know you heard the story. My Samsung phone that I had at the time took a little
Oh
swim
God, has
in
been
the
through a
ocean.
lot.
It went through a lot. So first, it was dropped from a roller coaster into the gears and managed to keep working without a scratch. I retrieved it at the end of the ride. I don't know how that one, I don't know what happened there, but it was really good. And then that spring of 19, that was fallish, winterish, 2018. 2019, I go home because I take a semester off school because life sucks and I need surgery and all that kind of stuff. Um, we go on the last family vacation we ever gone on before COVID, 2019. We go to New Zealand for 2 weeks. And we go to this beach and it's super windy. And I put my phone in my pocket, but the pocket doesn't have a zipper. And well, we had a big gust of wind and my jacket kind of flies open and my phone goes out of the pocket into the water. Oh my gosh. And the tide waves went out and I was like, shit, it's gone. And I'm like searching for it, everything comes back in, goes back out again. I don't know, probably like maybe two, three times. And I'm like, oh God, it's not gonna be right. Then I see it like catty corner, not too far, maybe like 3 meters, three big steps from where I was. So I just like try to grab it and I grab it. And at this point, it's been in the water at least 60 seconds, at least full minute in the water. And we're in New Zealand. All my photos are on this phone. Literally, obviously, I have them backed up to like the cloud, but like all my photos are on this phone. It was my only source of like picture taking on my mom and my brothers and everything. We had extra phones and cameras. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have any memories, but still, it is gone. And so we continue camping and we pass this little tiny town and this tiny, tiny like mini mart grocery store thing. And we run in, we get a bag of rice, we put this phone in rice. Because my dad was like, don't turn it on, because if you try to turn it on, you'll fry it. So we gotta leave it in rice first, and then we'll try to turn it on. So we leave it in rice overnight, whatever. So it's been 12, 14 hours. It turns on. Like this phone turns on. I keep this phone for what? Like another year? Because it's a phone I had when I met you.
Yeah, you've
So
had it
it
for a long
lasted like
time.
another year after that, and then it died just casually falling out of my car door.
Yeah,
That's how it died. But it
that's
did have many
insane.
adventures while it was alive.
That's insane. I'm proud of that phone.
But I guess speaking of water damage, I guess you have to be extra careful back home with all the rain that your laptop doesn't get soaked.
Dude, I know. But I got it in a bag and I got it in a like laptop protection cover that I don't have with me, otherwise I would have shown it. But so it is double protected.
There you go. Hopefully
So
no more water
yeah.
incidents.
But okay, fall in the Netherlands. As I kind of mentioned in my blog, this is my first fall back here since 5 years ago. Um, Definitely different. I'm from the Midwest. We kind of talked about last week how Midwest fall is just a 1 week and then it turns into winter basically, or 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it just dragging on with summer and then it's 2 weeks of fall and then it's winter. Um, Here it's a little longer. It involves a lot of rain. And I had my very first fall adventure last week as well.
Oh,
Yeah. So for people who don't know, I have been growing a avocado tree. And it has been an adventure. I started it in the summer of 2020 when it was COVID. What I did, I cut an avocado, obviously. I ate the avocado. And then I used a pit and I set the pit in water and I just let it grow. 3 years moving forward, it has grown so much and it's turning into an actual tree. It
yeah, it looks like a
has,
baby tree now.
it does, and it's actually like starting to get like the bark,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the wood that is a
Hmm.
tree trunk. That's what it's starting to develop. So little by little, it's just starting to get more free.
It's
So
maturing
then
into an actual tree.
it is, and then in 3 years, I can actually eat some avocados from it.
I, is it 3 years now?
Yeah, well, I think it's like 3.5.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was
So
7 years, so that would have made
yeah,
it.
yeah. So yeah, it's like 4. I would say 4. I'm just optimistic. I hope for the best. So I'm saying 3.5, but it is actually 4. Um, yeah. But so we had it in this pot and we have to move the tree inside during the winter because of the cold.
Yeah.
It can only sustain temperatures up until like 10 degrees
Mm.
Celsius. Um, so on Saturday, I pull out the pot that it's in. We put the pot into another pot to sit in the summer, and I pull it out and I hear all the roots just like crunch. And I was like, shit, what just happened? So I pull it out and I look, and the roots have like grown out of the little hole that's inside the pot
Ah,
into the soil in the different pot. So I was like, shit, it has like started to spread out into this bigger pot.
yeah.
Um, so eventually what we did, or what I did, I just cut it out of the pot that it was in, put it into the big pot, and put a lot of soil around it to like make
Hmm.
it steady. But I felt so bad because all the roots were now kind of crushed and broken. But I feel
Yeah.
like it will
It
develop
should grow
them
back.
back. Yeah. So
They're
then
pretty
my dad and
resilient.
I, they should be, yeah. And they got new fresh soil, so
So
new
what happens
nutrient.
when it outgrows pots? Like, is it okay to leave, like, plant actually outside?
So I think it will only grow as large as the space that we give it, you
Okay.
know?
Okay.
So I think it's just gonna be a smaller tree than an avocado tree that's outside in the heat.
That's fair. So
Because we only
are
give
you
it
only
this,
gonna leave it in that big pot that you did, or are you gonna
yeah.
upgrade it one more time?
No, I think this pot is pretty solid. It's a
Okay.
good indoor and outdoor pot, and I don't know, I feel like moving it once again, just destroying kind of some more
Yeah.
roots is just not going to be healthy for it. Maybe I do feel the need to maybe have a like broader one because this one is pretty slim but
Okay.
tall.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that will affect its stability.
Fair.
Um, but we're gonna see. For now, it's doing really well. Um, So I moved it inside. It's in my bedroom now. So I have a little friend inside my bedroom with me. But it got so tall that because my dad and I lifted it upstairs and it got so tall that it barely fit in like the staircase.
Oh,
So I think next year we're gonna have to leave it downstairs in the
yeah.
winter.
Well, it would probably like to be like by the light, like by a window or something.
Yeah, I mean, It's but in my room right now, and I get some light inside. Um, but definitely during the days that I'm not there, I just leave the curtains open so then
Mm,
all day like just natural light comes in. But during the winter, it doesn't grow as much anyway because one, it doesn't get the heat. Two, it doesn't get
mm.
the sunshine and the warmth that it gets, or yeah, the more heat that it gets in the summer.
Yeah.
But it's still like as long as it's alive, I'm good. Like it
You're
will
doing all
grow in the
right, right?
summer and then winter is just kind of maintaining. But
That's
yeah, so that
that's
was
a good thing
my
though.
first like fall experience. And I'll definitely keep you all updated on my avocado process. I'm very proud of it. How it turned from like
Have you named
this
it?
dough.
We should name it. Maybe our viewers can help us name it.
I was thinking of the name dough just because, you know, avocado, but
Dough.
yeah, I feel like we need a better name for our avocado.
Avo.
Um,
Av. My Av tree.
no, I don't like that.
I don't
We'll
know.
we'll
What would you
ask
name? What would you? We should ask. We'll ask our viewers comment or
viewers, listeners,
message us
whatever. Yeah. What is a good
name.
name for an avocado tree?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, I'll post one day a picture of what it was like 3 years ago and now. And the funny thing is that at the beginning, you still see the pit in the pot.
Mm,
So you see the avocado pit and you just see a little sprout growing out of it. But now the pit is entirely gone. So it has
yeah.
grown out of its pit. So I think that's pretty
Yeah.
cool to see. Um, and just that it's actually like creating its own bark. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I also planted some lemon seeds to start my own lemon tree. They have yet to sprout.
Well, it's
So
probably the wrong time of year to do that.
probably, but I needed a new
But if it's
project.
inside, if it's indoor, maybe it would just
Yeah,
take longer.
it
It's
might.
not like you're trying to do it outside.
It's been like a week and a half now since I planted it. So I may have to give it some time, but if nothing happens in the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna find a different way to plant my lemon. Because a
Yeah,
lemon
but
tree
you
is
might
also
just have to
nice.
wait till spring.
No,
No? Okay.
no.
You need to get one of those artificial heaters then.
Oh, I should. I should. But my mint is going very well.
Nice. Have you used it in
Uh,
teas?
I have. It tastes so much better than the ones that you get from the supermarket just because it's fresh, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I am thinking of starting to grow basil. Just like the herbs like that, but one project at a time.
That's fair.
Yeah. Besides that, another thing that I noticed in fall is that it is dark in the morning, and I don't like it.
Always.
I wake
I
up at
mean,
7:30 and I'm like, why does it look like it's 3 in the morning?
imagine when you get up at 4:30 like I do.
Right. But there's no difference in light.
No.
It's as dark. And that is what I came to realize is like, why was I so flabbergasted about the fact that it's still so dark in the morning? I have never experienced anything different in the past how many years? Because I always had to wake up for swimming, so it was always dark.
Yeah, that's fair.
I haven't had a fall where I had to wake up later than, let's say, 5 in the morning in
Yeah,
the past 8 years.
that's fair.
Yeah. So I don't like it because it makes me want to sleep more.
What time does it get dark there at night? Is it still pretty late?
It's definitely starting to get earlier. In the summer, it's not until 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It's super nice. Like you could just sit outside and chill. Sunset
I
is
know
at
I
6:30 p.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's about somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30 here now.
Yeah. But it will get earlier. Like we're gonna have times where it'll be
Oh
dark
yeah.
at 5 p.m.
Oh, we'll get it to a point where it's, like 4:30, it's
Yeah.
already get dark.
It's just insane. Like
I hate it.
that's just
I hate
not
it so much.
healthy because you just want to sleep because all the
I don't
melatonin
even
is
need to
rushing through
sleep.
your body. I do.
I don't even need to sleep. Just sitting on a couch with a blanket, just chilling, like watching
Oh my
Netflix.
God.
My
Watching all the
motivation leaves.
avocados. Yeah.
My motivation definitely disappears.
Dude, that is, I talked to my sister about that too. I said on Friday, I came back from my biking adventure for an hour, and then I wanted to go to the gym that day. I wanted to do homework that day, but it was pouring rain. It was gloomy outside. It was chilly. It was nice and warm inside. And I was sitting in the couch with my blanket and tea, and I was like, I'm not going anywhere today.
Yeah.
I just want to sit here and do absolutely nothing. Read my book, watch my show, but not go to the gym and not do any homework.
I also think it's hard. Like I've noticed now, and I don't know if it's an age thing or if it's a post-athlete thing or whatever. I always kind of attribute it to me getting up early, but I even now I don't even think it's that. It's like you're gone all day or for the most of the day, right? So you get up, go to
Yeah,
work. Well, for me, get up, go to work, go to school, go to work, come back, right? You like get up, go travel, go to school, travel, and then go home, right? And
yeah.
once you're home, you don't want to do anything. So like
No.
if it's not on your list to do while you're out before you come home, like once I'm home, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to like I don't like want to do anything that involves intellectual thinking. So homework's, non option. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know why that switch.
Maybe because we have been so used to always going and always doing things that now it's just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, but
I
like
just want to
I'm fine as long as I'm
relax.
out.
Right. Because you're
So
forced to do
like
stuff.
so like
Like, I
today,
personally, go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say? You what?
Well, I personally, on days that I want to be productive, um, I like going elsewhere
Mm-hmm.
to do homework because I know when I'm elsewhere besides home, I get much more stuff done because I'm forcing myself to do that. If I just sit at home, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'll just watch Netflix until like 11 and then I do stuff. But then it's 11 and I'm like, damn, this is getting exciting. I'm gonna watch one more, you know? So I'm way more tempted to fall into the comfiness instead of actually being productive.
We were actually talking, one of my Paige, my coworker and classmate, grad school person, we were actually talking to one of our professors about this. Like, because he was saying when he was in grad school, he did a lot of stuff from his like house, dorm room, whatever, and he had no problem just sitting on the couch and doing it or whatever, right? And nowadays, since he, got engaged, got married, has a house, has a full-time job, like he can't do anything at home. He has to do it at school because
Yeah,
once he goes home, he's not going to do anything work related. And he was like,
right.
well, it has something to do with you get to a point where you either consciously or subconsciously, some people have to make the choice and other people they just naturally do it. Get to a point where once they're home, like they're not going to think about school or work or this or that. That's
Which is
a
good,
separate. That's not home life. That's work life or that's school life or that's whatever. And I'm
which is
like,
how it should
okay, that
be.
makes sense. It makes sense, right? Like, but it sucks because that means I need to be out for 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day or
Yeah.
8 hours a day before I come home because like for that like for example this morning I went to work and went to class and then finished work and came home, around 12:30 ish, 1 o'clock, and now don't want to do anything. Like obviously we record this on, Tuesdays, but if I come home at like 3 o'clock, I don't want to do anything. I'm home. I don't want to go to the grocery store. I don't want to go work out. I don't want to do anything because I'm home.
I have the same.
And I don't have a desk or anything in our apartment that I can say this is my workspace.
Right. That
And
makes
I
it
think
even
if I had
harder.
that, yeah, I think if I had that,
Yeah.
maybe I could change my mentality a little bit.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know because I'm like, okay, well, we'll do like laundry, we'll do like cooking, we'll watch Netflix, we'll do,
Yeah.
house stuff, life stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not work, it's not school, it's not this. So I wonder, like, this, like, how that comes about because I have noticed that change.
I don't know. It might come with age, it might come with maturity.
No, I have no idea. It was just an interesting conversation because, like, you
Yeah.
had brought that up, and I'm
I
like,
mean,
actually, we literally just had
I
this
was
conversation.
talking to my sister about that today because she is switching jobs next week. And she says that multiple people that she's going to work with work from home.
I couldn't.
And I was like, well, I feel like if I were to work at home, I would be way less productive because I have all
Hmm.
these distractions that I want to do, go downstairs to grab a snack. Oh, look outside, look at the weather. Oh, checking my phone. Like I would be so much more distracted than when I'm sitting somewhere with people around me and just zooming in on my work. Um, but here, like I'm sitting in my sister's like office space right now, and it's definitely better than sitting downstairs when the TV is
Hmm.
there or when there's just the table. But it's in the house. I go grab water, I go to the fridge, I go,
Yeah,
you know. So I would not get more productive if I were to work from home.
I
I would
don't think
need to
so.
work at an office or at
Yeah,
something.
I agree. I couldn't see myself working at home. And it's the same thing. The reason I can say this though is because I've done lots of online classes.
Yeah.
My productivity and my learning decreases so much because I
Oh
don't care.
yeah.
I don't put in the effort. I skim
No.
through. I half-ass listen to the lectures. Like I'll be the first one to admit it. Like it's just how I am. But
It's the
that's how I
same for,
know it wouldn't work for
yeah,
me in like a career. I couldn't do it from home.
it's the
Oh
same
shoot.
for us, because we only have 6 hours a week that we have lectures, and
Mhm.
the other 32 that we're supposed to do schoolwork, we have to do by ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, I notice that I'm way more productive when I'm somewhere else doing that work than
Hmm.
when I'm at home trying to get that same work done.
Oh,
I don't know
100%.
what it is. Some people prefer being at home because they don't have the distractions from others. But for me, no. I
I distract myself plenty.
honestly, yeah. And
No,
I still get distracted somewhere else, but it's just not as often, not as easily as when I'm just at home.
no, yeah. I agree with that, but it's it's a different
Everybody
world.
has different
Yeah.
preferences, and nothing is right or wrong at
Oh
all.
yeah,
And I do
everything works
think
differently.
that, COVID has allowed us to be able to work remotely, and that some people actually are way more productive when they work remotely, so that they have the opportunity to do that. I think it's amazing. But for
Yeah.
me, if I can work in my workspace, I would be perfectly fine.
Yeah. And obviously sometimes it is out of necessity that people have to
Yeah,
work at home, which is all fair and good, but knowing me, I couldn't, but
I may be able to do it for a day every so often, but doing it every day, I would get fried.
Yeah, so what's been your like, I know we're almost like out of time, but
That's
um
okay.
I know you mentioned like in the blog you were like obviously that being at home and the
Yeah.
changing of weather and stuff is pretty hard to stay productive. Like what are some things that you've done to kind of like combat that and still try to stay on
For
top of.
me, just making a schedule for myself and telling myself this is what I'm gonna do when, and just sticking to that. Like I have to do this during this day. I have to do, or I have to read this many pages, and I'm not gonna stop until I'm done. So just
Yeah,
dividing it into the different days, and also planning for having some time off,
that's
which
fair.
some
Yeah.
people forget to do sometimes. But having time off is crucial. Um, I always mostly plan for my nights and evenings to be free so I
Hmm.
can enjoy spending time with my family, playing games, and then reading.
Yeah.
Any free moment that I have traveling on the bus or train or before bed, I sometimes watch my show, but most often I just read. It's putting my brain in a different mode where I'm in a different world, without the distractions from the outside world. And I think that has really helped me of just staying relaxed mostly.
Hmm. What book
But
are you
I've
reading right now?
the fifth Harry Potter still. But I'm over over halfway done. So I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm booking it, I feel like. And it's, oh my God, I could talk so long about this. This book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, by far the best one I've read. And I've read the first four, and this one is by far the best one. There's so many little details in the book that are not shown in the film. So I'm really liking it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So how many more books do you have in the series?
After this, two more.
Oh, there's seven? Okay.
Yeah. And then the seventh book they made into two films.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not watched or read any of them, but I remember that
I
being
know.
like a big thing.
It's not your genre, but that's okay.
It's not. Pull it
I
off.
like it a lot, and I know a lot of other people do too. But yeah, so far I really like the fifth book. Um, so well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. It was a very exciting episode with us being all over the place, kind of,
Yeah, kind
just
of,
like
but not really.
always. Yeah, we stayed on track a little bit.
A little. Yeah.
And we will be back next week with some more interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.